The mark element was first introduced in HTML5 and is designed to help authors highlight page content, usually for reference purposes. Let's take a look at what the specification has to say about this new element. So inside the HTML5 specification, the definition for the mark element reads as such. This element represents a run of text in one document marked or highlighted for reference purposes due to its relevance in another context. When used in a quotation or other block of text referred to from prose, it indicates a highlight that was not originally present, but which has been added to bring the reader's attention to a part of the text that might not have been considered important by the original author when the block was originally written, but is now under previous unexpected scrutiny. When used in the main prose of a document, it indicates part of the document that has been highlighted due to its likely relevance to the user's current activity. Whew, man. All right, so some important things to take away from this. When used in a quotation or other block of text that's referred to from the prose, it indicates a highlight that was not originally present. Now, that's a really important part, not originally present. So if you're quoting somebody and you want to take part of that quote and emphasize it for the reader, and it wasn't originally emphasized, then the mark element is perfect for that. Now, it can also have some other uses as well. If I scroll down into the code examples, take a look at the second code example here where it says, another example of the mark element is highlighting parts of a document that are matching some search string. If someone looked at a document and the server knew that the user was searching for the word kitten, then the server might return the document with one paragraph modified as follows. So it's showing you the searched paragraph of text, but the word kitten is surrounded by marks to indicate to the user that, hey, this is the term that you searched for, and here's how it's relevant. And that's actually a pretty common usage pattern when people are showing you search results these days. All right, well, let's take a look at the mark element in action. And to do that, I'm going to open up the trails.html found in 0309. Now, there's not really a whole lot going on in our Trails page that's relevant for using the mark element. So if I scroll down into our main article and keep going down a little bit, you'll notice that I've got this little section where it says notable features. And there's a little paragraph here that towards the bottom of it, it says, if you want to give this a try, you need to be extra careful. The washout resumes at the bottom of it, and it's perched on the edge of a 700-foot drop. So consider yourself warned. Well, what if I wanted to take that text and emphasize, so consider yourself warned? If I highlight that text and then wrap that in a mark element, I want to show you what browsers do to the mark element for their default styling. So if I save this and go back out and preview that in the browser, if I scroll down, it's really easy to find. You can see, so consider yourself warned. Now, this is typical of the browser's default styling. This is not a style that I wrote. This is Chrome, in this instance, is default styling, but Internet Explorer and Firefox pretty much do the same thing. It's almost like taking a yellow highlighter and highlighting the text. And that's really, if you think about the definition of the mark element, it really fits for that. So this is actually pretty good default styling, although you certainly could change it if you wanted to and overwrite that styling. Now, frankly, this isn't a very good use of the mark element. If I want to emphasize this text, I've got the M tag or I've got the strong tag. It really doesn't work for that. Remember, it's really intended to highlight something within a quote or another block of text that wasn't originally present. So it doesn't really work there. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. But if I go down, I can see that inside the block quote, I do have a quote from Nick Brazzi. Northridge Loop is easily the best loop in Ojai. You'll kick yourself if you miss it. Inside that quotation, Nick didn't really emphasize one part of that or another. But what if I felt like really highlighting the fact that this is the best loop in Ojai? So I could highlight just that little span of text there and then go ahead and wrap that in a mark tag. Now that's more in conformance to the intended purpose of the mark tag. So if I save that and go back into my browser, now I can see that I get the default highlighting for best loop in Ojai. So if I really felt like keeping this, if I really wanted to emphasize the fact that Nick says that this is the best loop in Ojai, and I felt that that was worth sort of highlighting within this larger quotation, then the mark element would be perfect for that. I would probably rewrite the styling so it was a little bit more in conformance with my own site. So the mark element's a great way to add new emphasis to quotes and references or indicate the original terms of a user's search. If you plan on using it, be sure to keep in mind how most browsers are going to style the mark element, as you're seeing it right here, and then determine for yourself if you want to overwrite the default styles with something more consistent with your own site.